So when Nintendo said that they were going to be putting out a new trailer for Super Mario 3D World on Switch and telling us what Bowser's Fury is, I expected to actually at least somewhat understand what Bowser's Fury is. I mean, I guess I somewhat understand, just I'm confused. It's like they answered my initial questions and then gave me more questions than I had initially, and now I don't even know anymore. Just wanted to say Happy New Year, because this is my first video of the new year, I think. I kind of got a little sick at the beginning of the new year, had a really bad sore throat that made it hard to talk. I did get tested, and it was for COVID, and that was negative. So I did not have COVID, but I had some other kind of virus or infection of sorts that caused my throat to be very sore, so I couldn't sit in front of a camera and talk like this. So that's just how it was. So year kind of got off on a bad start in that foot, but don't worry, I'm back. So I'm assuming, especially if you're a Nintendo fan, you've probably seen the trailer by now. It's like literally the #1 trending video on YouTube. People are excited about this game. I think it's going to sell really well. Super Mario 3D World, it's just a very accessible 3D Mario concept to begin with, and moving it from Wii U to Switch, I mean, it was gonna do well. You have people like me who love the concept of the game. I played 3D Land a ton on the 3DS, never had a Wii U, so of course I'll be picking this up for Switch. But the real question for Wii U owners is, what is Bowser's Fury? Because that's the new content Nintendo's putting in this game, and I mean, it's new content. A lot of the Wii U ports Nintendo's been putting onto Switch have had like minimal new content where it's like, is that really worth buying again? But this looks like it might be worth buying again. It's really a lot of brand new stuff. The general gist I was getting, and I think everybody else's gist was kind of similar to mine, is that they've basically taken the 3D World game engine and made kind of an open world Mario Odyssey styled area. So it's exploration. You seem to be looking for these weird cat metal type things that you find them kind of like Power Moons in Mario Odyssey. I think it kind of follows that same animation too when you get to it. But while you're getting there, it is, like I said, the 3D World art style and game mechanics, which I love 3D World's art style, by the way. That was probably what I felt like I missed out the most on in the Wii U, is not even the game, just the art style. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So having an open world type area to run around in with that art style, that's awesome. And you get to use all of the power-ups from the game, like the propeller box, the fire flower, boomerang. Those kinds of power-ups are available in this area, which is nice because you have the capture mechanic in Odyssey, which worked kind of like a power-up, but there was no real like traditional Mario power-up system. So I think this is kind of the first time we get traditional Mario power-ups in kind of an open world exploration type environment. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So from that point, that's exciting. Now let's talk about where I was a little bit confused. So first of all, the entire time Bowser Jr. is following you around with a paintbrush. Bowser Jr. appears to be on your side this time. That was not explained at all. Did Bowser Jr. even show up in the main game for 3D World? I haven't played it all the way through, but I've watched a lot of videos of it and seen it at my friends' houses and stuff. I don't think Bowser Jr. did show up in 3D World, so that's interesting that he shows up now. Where did he get the paintbrush from? I don't know. In some of the clips, he's just kind of floating in the air. In some of the clips, he's actually doing things like taking out enemies and kind of painting pictures on the wall that turn into power-ups and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if it's like a second player mode where the second player one player jumps in and controls Bowser Jr. while the other player controls Mario. And then, of course, if you only have one player, Bowser Jr. just kind of chills and does random computer things. I'm not quite sure. I just want to know why Bowser Jr. is on our side this time and why he has a paintbrush. Also, Bowser just kind of turns into this giant Ganondorf hybrid monster thing. Yeah, that's about all I know. And so then Mario runs up to like this pedestal in the middle of the area and grabs this giant super bell that turns him into what people are calling Lion Mario, which is basically just super duper catsuit Mario. He gets the catsuit, but then also expands to the size of gigantic Bowser, I guess. We can see as he's running up to the bell that he's being chased by Bowser, and at a different point in the trailer we can see that bell is kind of still stone, and it kind of breaks and turns into the Mega Super Bell. So I'm assuming the power moon type things that he's finding around, he has to find all of them to then activate the bell in the center, and then Bowser's chasing him while he's trying to get to the bell, and that's like the first stage of the boss fight. And then the second stage is you being giant cat lion Mario when you have the power up. These are all my assumptions. I could do a more depth analysis later after I've looked at the trailer in more depth. I've watched it 3 or 4 times now. It took that long for me to start to piece together what I have so far. Just story consistency, though. I mean, story consistency has never been a strong point of Mario between games anyway, but I don't really know how we got from the Sprixie Kingdom to wherever this is, and why is Bowser enormous? Maybe these are questions that'll be answered, but most likely, based on how Mario games work, these questions won't be answered at all. It's just going to throw us right into this random world with no story explanation, and Bowser's just going to be huge, and that's just going to be it. But, I don't know. I don't think that Nintendo's going to put out another trailer before the game launches in February. With how spaced out the trailers were so far, and the fact the game's coming out next month, and it's already pretty hyped up anyway, I feel like it's in Nintendo's best interest to just wait. It almost generates more hype for us to have all these questions, and then the game come out, and then people feel like they have to buy the game to have the questions answered. So I figure we won't know more about this till the game launches, but maybe I'll be wrong. But again, I am very, very excited to actually play through this because I absolutely love 3D World's art style, and just being able to play traditional Mario physics and traditional Mario power-ups in an exploration kind of game. That's really intriguing to me, so I want to try it out. I also want to know why Bowser Jr. has a paintbrush. But let me know what you guys thought of the trailer today, and any extra details that you picked out that I very likely missed. And who knows, maybe in a few days when I've thought it over some more, I'll have some more in-depth analysis video about all the crazy revelations I had after watching the trailer for the 276th time. But for now, I guess I'll see you all later.